therapeutic partners. I've seen this in my own life, and I've seen people suffer for staying with a therapeutic partner. What I mean by therapeutic partner is, I believe any time that you work in any relationship with someone who either oversees your care, for whatever reason, whatever the specialty is, it's a therapeutic partner versus saying doctor or nurse, or because there's so many people now that's not medical doctors that actually see patients and in a functional medicine type situation, but they're not medical doctors. What I have noticed, it's really getting to a point that is offensive, and I know society is kind of making this like the norm, where people are they're looking you up on social media. As a patient, someone in the office goes up and look up your name, or the doctor will come in and ask you, what do you do for a living? And it has nothing to do with the care that that person is providing for you, or if they're going to set limitations based upon maybe an injury that you have. But they're doing it because I believe they ask you that question because they really want to set the value that they perceive that you have based upon the social media following, or the type of job, car, clothes that you may have on, or whatever the case may be. And it's unfortunate because what I believe happens, that this down regulates the care. And what I want to say to you, the people who are seeing doctors, for whether or not you have an issue, or whether or not you just want to work on longevity, where I am, where you actually go get advanced testing and screening and see how you can actually optimize your systems and your performance and that type of thing. What I want to say is, when you have someone, the first thing they come in and ask you is, if where do you work, how much money do you make, or what type, where do you live, what side of town you live on, and they're assessing your clothes and where do you drive. That has nothing to do with medical care. And sometimes we get so to the point that we're trying to impress people that we don't realize that we're leaving ourselves open to be hurt and not get the value of care that you actually need. And I would tell you, if you run into a situation like that where a doctor or any therapeutic partner asks you that question, then I would suggest you actually leave. Now, when people are therapeutic partners or running a medical practice or something like that, these people are, although they're providing a service, and as far as doctors are concerned, they have a Hippocratic oath not to do any harm. It is a business for these people. And so you have to understand that. So whatever the investment is that they tell you that you have to make, you need to be able to afford that investment. But they should give you the opportunity to be able to say, yes, this is something I want to move forward with, or no, it's not something I want to move forward with. This recently had happened to me. I went into a physician's office for a consultation, and probably within 5 minutes of me being there, he asked me what type of work that I did. And he tried to play it off because I said, what does that have to do with me being here? He tried to play it off and say what I was coming there for made him ask the question. No, what I was coming there for didn't make him ask the question of what did I do for a living. The reason he did that, because of the area this particular physician was in, was, I guess you would consider a high income neighborhood. And what people try to do, they try to associate themselves with people who they feel like in their minds is of some value. And I want to tell you all, don't stay with a doctor's office where people don't understand intrinsic value. Intrinsic value is the value you have just by being a human being alone. Has nothing to do about what you have, where you drive, where you live, who do you know. When you're going to a doctor's office, you're going there seeking some type of help and some type of assistance. And if somebody is looking at, although you need to be able to afford whatever they say the service is, and if you can't, you just say, no, I think I'm going to look at other options. It's not a big deal. And maybe you can afford it and you just don't want to deal with them. What I'm saying is, you come to a place that you know that your value is important. Come to the place that you know that what you say is important. And come to the place that you know that if someone is only looking at you for what they feel like you can give to them, and they don't even know you coming to them for a service. So either they can tell you about their service and you can actually afford it, and that's the option that you want to choose, or you go somewhere else. But when it comes down that you have a doctor or therapeutic partner, they're evaluating you based upon what you're wearing, what you look like, what you drive, and whether or not they assume that you're actually the whatever you tell them about yourself, that you actually fit the mold that they can accept you. This is happening a lot. You can go right now, you can call somebody's office, you can call somebody's business, you give them your name, they're going to automatically go to social media to see what type of following you have. They're going to automatically go to social media to see what type of following you have, or to see who you are so they can get more information about you. To me, if you tell me that you're going to do that and that you've done that, or you make me know that you've done some research about me, especially when I'm actually pursuing a service that I'm going to pay for, that's offensive to me, and I'm going to take my money somewhere else. Doctor or not, we got to get to a place when we know our value. And just because this is one cardiologist or one dermatologist or whoever it may be, a cosmetologist, whatever the case may be, you need to know you can get up and go to somebody else. You don't have to stay in a place where someone is going to treat you differently for a service. This is for a service. This is something that you're paying for. You know that it costs for you to go to the doctor. You already know that before you go. You know that it's going to cost for you to go to the dentist. You know it's going to cost for you to go to the cosmetologist. You know this already. But for someone to now, they try to assess you based upon your outer appearance, based upon your social media following, based upon whatever title. So let's say they ask you, what do you do for a living? And you say, I'm a doctor, or you say, I'm a content creator. Well, now to them, they feel like you're valuable. But let's say you're a school teacher. Let's say you're a bus driver. Because of that title that you give to them, they don't assess value to that. To me, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. I don't appreciate when people cannot respect me as a human being. If you can't even stop to ask me my name before you try to get in worried about where I live and what I got on and what I'm wearing, my wig, my makeup, and all this other kind of stuff. There's so many conversations I can have with a woman, another female, about being a woman. I don't have to ask her about her personal life. I don't have to ask her about her husband or her children or where she lives. I've known people for 30 plus years, and I don't know where they live. I know what side of town maybe they live on. I don't know what kind of car they drive. And some of these people, I don't even know their husband's name, because it's just not that type of relationship. I'm not invested that much in somebody's life just because I meet you and you and I have a very cordial conversation to get to a place that I dig all in your personal business. I don't understand that we've gotten to a place now that we want to get so personal with people. Even though you see somebody on social media, even though you see people post all the time, there should be boundaries. And God knows you should have a boundary if you're going to a doctor's office. Come on now. If you're going to someone for whatever the reason is, whatever this therapeutic partner is going to provide for you, there's some things it's not their business. And I want to share with you all today, be willing to walk away. A doctor does not need to be your friend in order for them to provide you care. And matter of fact, I'm not going to go to a friend that's going to be my doctor. I'm not going to do that, because they're going to have some bias for me that they may not be able to see if I actually really need some additional help or not. You understand what I'm saying? So it's offensive to me. It's very offensive to me when I hear people say, or they ask the question to someone, what do you do for a living? And won't even ask you your name. Won't even ask you how you doing today. You get this in the regular world. You get this in business. You get this when you go to the doctor's office. Not everybody want to be connected to somebody because they want to come up off of your name, or they want to connect to you because they feel like you are some value. But I want to tell you all, don't allow even a doctor. I'm pretty sure no matter where you live, there's more than one dentist. There's more than one cardiologist. Don't stay somewhere that you're disrespected. And please don't give somebody your money and your time when they're going to disrespect you. You're much more valuable than that. We have to come to a place that we take full autonomy over our health. We have to get in the driver's seat. And when you go into a place, no matter whether it's a doctor's office, whether it's in a clothing store, whether it's at the automobile dealership, it doesn't matter where it is or who it is. Don't allow yourself to be disrespected by anybody. Take control of your health. And me going to a physician's office, the dentist's office, the chiropractor, whatever it may be, it does not mean that you have to get emotionally engaged and involved with someone in order for them to provide you with adequate care. If you find yourself in that situation, go somewhere else. You got to find your value. You have to know your intrinsic value. That is the value that you have just alone by you being a human being. It has nothing to do with what you have. And when you have someone that's going to be providing that type of care and service, and they're looking at only your wallet, yes, you need to be able to pay these people for their service if you're going to do business with them. Let's not come in there begging and asking somebody to do something for free. But you need to be respected just because you're a human being. And if you cannot afford what somebody tells you is the price and what the cost of investment is, then you move on. But at least I should be able to present it to you. You cannot judge a book by its cover, and you many times you cannot even discern who has wealth and or not. Most of the people who's being very flashy, they don't have the wisdom that goes along with it. But your health is your wealth and it's your responsibility. Don't allow anybody to disrespect you and dishonor you and make you feel less than because you don't feel like you meet the title or the parameters or the brackets they want to put you in. So be willing to move on, to let go of your therapeutic partners who no longer serves you. If they're not answering your questions, you have questions for them, they don't want to take time to answer because they feel like what you have to say, they want to just brush past it. It's time to move on. Now think about what you're saying. Don't just ask frivolous questions, but think about what you're saying. But if your doctor don't want to take time to answer your question, move on. Find somebody else. If you keep questioning in the back of your mind, should I keep staying with this physician? Should I keep going to this dentist? Ask yourself, why does it keep bugging me so much? What is it about this person that keeps bugging me? Should I move on? God, what is going on? What are you trying to tell me? A lot of times we get so comfortable with people, we put our life in their hands. Your life should be in God's hand, not even your own. Don't allow somebody to dictate to you how you want to live your life. That is some of the worst mistakes that I have ever made. I will never let a person have full control over my care ever again. Never would do it. Never would do it. I'm probably one of the best patients you could ever have, but I can be one of the worst patients you can ever have. And once you let me know that you don't know what you're talking about, I'm out. Never give your authority over to another human being. I don't care who it is. God created you. You go to God for direction. Yes, God can use doctors to heal you and to serve you. This is very true. But you need to have your hand on the dial yourself. Don't give your control of your health to anybody. Take it to God first, and he'll send you to whoever you need to get the additional help. This message was, I hope it blesses you to just really start taking control and really think about the doctors and the therapeutic partners that we are aligning ourselves with. Because a lot of people on different medications they shouldn't be taking. You're taking advice from people who's not looking at your overall care. And at the end of the day, it's going to cost you your life. They're going to move on. They're going to find another patient. They're going to move on to somebody else. And so I hope that you value yourself enough to know that you can let go and move on, and it's going to be all right. There are other doctors, there are other therapeutic partners out there that's willing to help you and willing to serve. And there are some people who are truly aligned with the will of God, and they really want to do what God has called them to do. They're truly anointed for the calling that God has on their life. Find those people. They're out there. They're a diamond in the rough, but they are out there. Be blessed, everybody, and I will see you again in another video somewhere down the line. Take care. Be blessed.